I'm terribly sorry about that. Looks like my mic channel has decided to randomly change again. So yes, welcome. Sorry about that. I don't know, is that a lot better? Hopefully it is. Let me just double check. All right, can I have a feedback? Yep. All right. Oh, you can hear. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, that's weird. Oh, no, I even said hi to you. Oh, damn. All right, sorry, I didn't spot it. On here, usually it's the mic and aux that captures this. Every now and then it flips and it becomes this one. I don't have both on because there are many times where both channels will just work and you hear duplicates of me. So yeah, sorry about that. It's been a while since that's not done that. It has actually done that. So, all right, here I am, 30 minutes in, giving everyone the silent treatment. All right, sorry about that. Let's get back into this. So, we got that. So we're kind of getting this to work. I'm actually, let's put this back onto debug true. Let's reload this page. Static doesn't work. If we, why is it? We hit client, and then it added static in, which is not what I want. Anyway, sorry, Ali Hassan, I'm working on refactoring NearBeach, so we are hoping to get rid of a lot of technical debts with NearBeach. It does involve a little bit of research, for example, how things are going to be connected up, how devs are going to work on it, and so forth like that. Today we're connecting both the Django and Vite environments together. So yeah, we're hopefully going to figure it out. Now I've just noticed that this is adding on static to there, which is not what we want, because if we hit refresh, that's not a web page. Yes, but however, when you're developing, what we kind of want to do is use the inbuilt Vite tools, so the static sort of stuff where it spins up its own sort of server and all that kind of stuff. We could get it, that person just constantly just builds and builds and builds and builds, but that's annoying. So yeah, and then when you're ready for a production build, you then do a production build, and we've got the collect static actually occurring in the doc build. So yeah. Alright, where was I? I was over here. Where's the application? So, in here, it's got it like that. What happens when we want to deploy? Let's say I go into debug files. Let's cancel this one. Let's go up here. Let's go and build this one. And let's run this one. I must set allowed hosts. Just go do that. Who cares? Alright. Let's go back over here. Let's just go localhost 8081. Yeah, we're not getting those ones. This is my concern, is if I can't replicate a production build of this working, we might have to just pull this out and actually tell people how to do. Yeah, what's next? We're done with the tooling houses, and what comes next is we finally get to the coding. In part 4, we're going to use practical examples to start building real applications. In our architect, we'll cover things like APIs, passing information between backend and frontend, and creating usable libraries. Yep, alright, cool. We're kind of almost there with it. We want to be able to deploy, that's the thing. Alright, and this is where we just need to, what is prod build versus this, using different build commands to oversee it. Alright, so, what we're trying to solve is a couple of problems. This is a drawing of a dev working on NearBeach. I can't draw, you're just gonna have to use your imagination here. That's the computer screen, that's the keyboard, that's their wonky arms and their head. Alright, so this is the local. We're trying to make developing on NearBeach as seamless as possible. So instead of having multiple things moving all at once, we just want one repo where you npm run dev to set up the static file regeneration and so forth like that. So pretty much your main, min, all your view components and stuff like that will compile and be presented for the local version. And the idea is you just run the backend server, so the Django server, and you just jump into a web browser, hit refresh, and Bob's your uncle. You can start working on NearBeach and actually see the results live. The next step is the production. So with the production, a couple of things have to happen. We have to build all the view components and so forth like that. Oh, and we just hit an ad break. I don't know if you're... Sorry. I don't know if you're in the ads pooper choop. Most likely not at this time of year. So I'll just pause on that explanation. And my phone is going off. Ad break. Oh yeah, I thought so. Alright. So I am getting a couple of... No, they're not important messages. Alright, cool. Anyway, and you're back. Alright, that was quick. Yeah, it's that time of year. Well, this time of year. So it's after Christmas. Everyone's done all their shopping. All the specials are over. They're like, yeah, nah. no one's spending money. I'll just bump back down to here. I'll pay for a sub. Oh, okay, like Turbo. Who has time for ads? Oh, fair enough. Anyway, so the view components need to be compiled. They then need to be, because we're dealing with Django, we need to collect the static. I've skipped a step too. Give me a couple of seconds. I really should just do this like this. All right, hang on. Production build process. We're gonna make that as large as possible. Extra large. All right. There we go. We're gonna use a fancy sort of thing. We're just gonna go down here. So the first step, what we've got is, I'm just actually going to grab this and this. Make this a bit bigger so everyone can read it. So the first step is to run npm run build. And what that does is that will build everything into production mode. That will put it into the static folder, which is great. The next step is we've got to commit to GitHub, commit to GitHub, that's self-explanatory, pull request into master, main, sorry, for do a release. From there, we've got several GitHub actions. So one of them will push code to the API, which is the Python package stuff. Once that is done, we've got some other code that will collect static and put on CDN. Easy done. That takes about half an hour. Don't know why. That's less than, I forgot how big it is. It's just a lot of files though. Then from there, we have a Docker build that builds NearBeach. Easy done. In the future, this will collect static on Docker build, which will collect the static files on the Docker build and put them where Django needs them. Yeah, so that's the steps at the moment. Pretty much everything from 5, 6, 7, and 8 will be automatic. There, we've got GitHub actions for that and so forth like that. So that's the production process. On the for the local dev process, make that wider. What we have is you'll just git pull it down to npm install 3. You'll need to do the virtual environment for Python. 4 would be pip install, and then this will happen at the same time. 5 and 6, so you'll npm run dev and Python 3 manage run server. So yeah, we're trying to make this as simple as possible, so that way you just run these 2 commands to get your live environment up. One is to build the front end, the other one's just to run the back end. $10 staff engineer and don't yourself. Yeah, rubber ducking helps. Yeah, don't worry. So yeah, that's our sort of goal. It's very similar to what we've got at the moment, except instead of using Vite, we're using Webpack. It's very slow and cumbersome. Yeah, no need to really speed up anything, but if we're moving to Vite, we kind of want this to be running on the local server, on the local dev environment. The reason being is if a dev makes a change, then has to go to the terminal to run a build command and any other sort of command, and then reload the web page, it's not efficient enough. Whereas there is that ability where they could, let's say they make a change in a component, flip straight over to the web page, and it's made that change straight away. So that's what we're trying to aim for. And that's why we're looking at Django Vite. It's just that I've got to solve both the local and the production sort of setup. So on here, we've got this, we've got the configuration, we've installed it, we've set up this. We don't need to worry about that. So we've got the... They've got it like that here. And I'm just wondering... Yep, we've got it like that too. Build, we've got the manifest.json, we've got the manifest.json. We've got the out directory being assets. Now, if we have a look, we've got it there as static. We got it there as static. Okay, that's fine. We've got the roll-up option, so we've got the unique key and then path the asset. Yep, all right, cool. They don't have much more there, which is fine. All right, we don't have the polyfill stuff put in, but that's pretty easy to do. As I try and remember where it goes. So what I want to do, I want to paste that here. We've got socks looking cute down here, being like, pet my belly. Actually, that's got to go at the very, very start, doesn't it? We've added that in. That's probably what I forgot to do on this particular one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the settings. We're going to go all the way down to the end, and we're just going to go false for that. Where we are, I'm going to go over here. I'm just going to restart the Python server, and I'm going to not touch that. Go back over here. If I hit refresh, so it removes one of the things, but yeah, the style cannot be found yet. If I go over here, I'm going to minimize everything. I'm going to open up this. We've got the static in there, and then we've got CSS. Oh, hang on. Sorry, I'm on the wrong one. Static, CSS, and then we've got styles. Yeah. Just not doing that. All right. Yeah, something does seem a bit fishy, and I'm happy to try static. No, it didn't work, but that's perfectly fine. Oops, wrong. Too far. What I could potentially do is I'm going to do this. I'm going to go Python 3 manage collect static, which is what you meant to do. You just go yes, put it into the static root, and it could be as just as simple as that, and I've forgotten a step. But it doesn't look like it. It looks like, yeah, that's just not. If I go over in here now, and I minimize that, wrong one. If I go over here, I minimize that, that should put everything into the static root. And that should be done for production. So we have a static root, it'll be the base directory and that. Just gonna copy this. Let's just go over here. Let's just paste this in and try and debug. All right, so there's the static file. So that's the folder we're putting stuff into, and that's how we pull stuff out. Easy done. Oh, in here it doesn't. Hang on, sorry, wrong project. In here, it's hello bundle. Didn't get put into. All right, there it is. Hello bundle. we'll go into here. The Vite asset. Damn it. I want to go into there and find out what's actually happening with the Vite asset. Because that's the hello. If I do something like this, we can see it's in the manifest. Here it is. And that's the source. But if I open up the manifest for the static root, we've got the file JS hello that. Okay. Should match up like that. And the style should match up too. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's go back to reading the docs. I'm probably going to sneeze. Oh, sorry. Make sure that the build out directory from the Vite config JavaScript is included in the static files directory. That might be something I am missing. So we're just going to copy this. We're just going to go over here just to quickly find it. So we've got it down here in the settings. I did think I saw it somewhere else, but we're going to ignore those other ones because that's project.settings. Yeah, that's this one. I'm just going to file mask this. Also got global settings. Don't know why. All right. So base directory and then static files directory. So we've got static there. Sorry, it goes into. Where's my Vite config? There you go. So that and that have to match. I don't think it will. Alright, so you like moving out of the way of the camera, don't you? Alright, dev mode. Yeah, we're not too worried about dev mode at the moment. Template tags, yeah. Custom attributes. Ooh. Alright. Loading assets from a CDN. By default, Django Vite will try and load a local manifest.json. If you want Django Vite to fetch a manifest from a non-standard source like S3, you can subclass there. Alright, not exactly what we want. But it's something we could potentially do. But yeah, at the moment, I just want to do this. So, but yeah, it's just static CSS styles. Static CSS oh, this would be static root. I wonder if the admin portal works. Give me 2 seconds. Oh, no, it does not. All right. This actually might be nothing to do with Vite. Alright, so I've been messing around with the collect static command. I got it working for my normal page just to say load all of that. Static main CSS, however, doesn't seem to be showing up. Alright, cool. I remember reading this long ago. Django recommends that you deploy static files with a web server other than WSIG. In the settings, static root equals static. Yep. Which will copy the Django admin static files to the path of project of static. So we won't have the static root is static. I'm doing this locally though. Static files, the solution depends on whether you're using Django development server with debug true or simulating a production environment. We're simulating a production environment. If you're using development server, have debug true in your settings. Static files should be served automatically. Ensure installed apps is correct, verified, and installed apps. All right, cool. If the simple fix doesn't work, try running debug faults, which requires explicit config. So we've got the URL set. Static URL is static. Yep. Oh, they got 2 forward slashes. Okay. I don't think that's it, but worth a shot. So yeah, we've just done that. Now the static root, that will be the static files. I'm just going to copy what they've got with the OS path. Like so. Oh, we forgot to import OS. That should just run. Cool. And sucks. People watch you. Then collect static. Alright, cool. Before I do any of that, remove static root. Cool. Remove NearBeach. Oh, wait, there's no other static roots in here. Alright, cool, yeah. Oh, I forgot to collect static. Manage collect static. That will create the stuff. Some check. Alright, warnings. Django Vite cannot read the Vite manifest file for apt default. Static manifest error 2. No such directory as the static root manifest.json. That makes hint. Oh. Alright, npm run build. Okay. Python, oh, I can't read. Socks is in the way. Python 3, manage run server, localhost 8081. So we did that. Configure a web server production. Run server command doesn't serve static root efficiently. In production environment, even if locally simulated, you would configure a web server like engine. Alright, that's probably why. Meaning we would have to test this on a real web server type of situation. Not going to be hard. I do have my NAS, which I could quickly connect together in an ad break, which isn't too far off. And we can set up Nginx or something like that. The other alternative is we can build a Docker container. No. Let's just use Nginx. It'll be quick. It'll be easy. Famous last words. I know. But it should be okay. And that's probably why this is not working. I've got the wrong one on there. There we go. That's working. It usually does if debug equals true, but judging from what's here, it's stating, where was it? The run server command doesn't typically serve the static root efficiently. In production environment and even locally, you would need to configure a web server like Nginx Apache to serve the files from static root directory directly, apparently. I need to also test to make sure that what I'm setting up here also works when it's on production. So I was hoping to fake a production here by going debug equals false, but no, that didn't work. And that's fine. Alright, so we're still getting this to work. I'm just going to jump into here just to see the hello bundle. The hello bundle is still this one. I don't know if this is a production build or not. One way to actually find out is we just go over here. We go into our... Oh, wrong one. I keep doing that, don't I? This would be under JavaScript, yep. Like so, easy done. Yeah, I think it's the... I'll just make sure I've got the network tab open to remove all the cache. I think it is the, fuck, I keep doing the wrong thing. Sorry, excuse my French. I think it's this one. Socks your tails on there. Yeah, all right. Yeah, so I need to make sure this will work when I... Sorry, let me refresh. My main concern is this won't work when we push to production. So I want to actually test on a production-like environment to confirm that this will work. And if it does work, how we got it to work. Locally, it looks like it is working fine. So if we actually set up this to run and on local, and it'll just work, which is great. And that also means that we can start working on the login page. Now, what I need to do... It's been a while. Alright. Is I've just got to set up what I want. We won't deal with the database, that's perfectly fine. It's been a while since I've set up Django with Unicorn, so I'm just refreshing. don't we? Thank you, socks. Okay, testing unit bonds, bind, yep, alright, cool. Yeah, this has been a long time since I set this up. Yeah, at the moment we're just playing around Poopa so we're trying to figure out how we want to achieve all of this. And it does require us jumping from the local into the prod, back into the local, back into the prod at points in time to make sure a change we made to make it work on local also works on prod without breaking it. Now at the moment I'm just double checking all of the how to deploy using Unicorn because it's been a number of years since I've actually deployed using Unicorn. Alright, cool. What I'm going to do is the ads are just about to start. I will be right back. Socks is a bit disappointed about this. I just need to plug in my NAS and turn it back on. I will be right back. Alright, how are the ads? Oh, they just started. Damn. Alright, that was a while for the ads to start. I do apologise. Alright. I have started up my NAS. Where's my phone? Alright, sorry, I was just going to see if it's jumped on the network or if I need to change the IPs because it does that sometimes. We've got about 45 seconds left of the ads. Found, yeah, I know it's just booted up. Come on, that should. 8 online, where's my NAS? It's not there yet. There's an S. Alright, cool. You'll boot it up. Alright, you've got the same IP. Oh, and we're back. Sorry about that. I was just checking on my NAS. I'm just making sure the tower is booted up. I'm logging in. I'm just going over to our VMs. Oh, Array must be started. Alright, hang on. Array should be booting up right now. Alright. Cool. should be booted up. Yep, we're going into my VMs. Now I've got a couple of VMs in here. We've got the Docker desktop build. We've got the engine. Oh, all right. We've already got. Oh, that's engineer. All right. Now I'm going to add in another VM. What do we call it? Nginx Django. Metal version. Oh, actually, this isn't technically using Unicorn to host Django. Default storage. We don't want the first CPU. We're going to use the last three. Initial memory, we're going to give you 2 gig. Max memory 2 gig. Actually, initial memory, we're going to actually give you, 1 gig. Sorry. BIOS. I'm pretty sure all of that would be fine. Yeah, well, this is bridge. Unranked source class. I'm just going to delete that. Alright. So it's been a little while since I've actually created a virtual environment on my NAS. I'm just going to go 10 gig. Virtual, this serial. I really should just cloned the other one. I'm just going to create. I know I'm missing something. Ow. Alright. Yeah, I'm definitely missing something. Damn. So. Can I just clone? Okay, I'm going to stop that one. I'm going to delete the one I just created. I'm just going to full stop. Yes. Sorry, I don't want to share this just because this is my NAS. Alright, so I'm going to clone it, going to be called, I'm going to call it Nginx Unicorn. For sakes. It won't be called NearBeach Clone, it will be called Nginx Unicorn Django Vite. Alright, we're just going to clone. Easy done. That should take a second. We're going to start with VNC. What I'm doing is on the VM, I will be testing essentially. So I don't need to install Nginx and all that kind of stuff on here for a local test. I can do that all on my VM. Oh my God, let me disconnect. All right, VNC, thank you. All right, here it is. We're going to, try and install. I'm going to move this over here because it's going to take a little while to do some things. So, we'll find out. So usually for production, a NearBeach production, you're just using Docker. Give me 2 secs. So yeah, you'll have a Docker Compose file, and that's how you would do it. You'll pass through certain sort of variables that we need, and yeah, that's how we want people to sort of host it. At the moment, we've got a CDN that hosts all the static files and so forth like that. So when you deploy, it actually contacts our CDN for all the static files. So that's all the JavaScript, that's the images. There's not many images for NearBeach. This is excluding anything you upload, and CSS. We are probably going to have a look at how we've set up the Docker and sort of make it more efficient and a lot better. So that way you're not reliant on our CDN moving forward. What do you mean API or whatever you're containerizing? Oh, all right, so if I'm getting what you're asking, if you're wanting to implement the ability for people to upload files and documents and so forth like that, you would have to connect some sort of blob storage to it. You can self-host that, or you can use Azure or S3. Right, let's see how this is going. I'm just going to pick basic English. We're continuing without updating. We're done. We're done. We should have all of that. I forgot about the API, whatever you're containing. You mean like our NearBeach's API? That's all self-contained. So all of that is self-contained. Alright, block probing did not discover any disks. Unfortunately, this means the installation will not be possible. Damn it! Let's stop that. All right, so let me go here. So you got the Git repository for NearBeach. If you ever have a look at it, you'll have inside it NearBeach, and you'll have source. Yeah, so eventually we'll be changing the Docker container that we're currently using. Yeah, so NearBeach runs in a Django container, Docker container. But what I'm doing right now is I'm just doing something as very, very basic. I'm boiling down everything down to getting Django Vite to run using Unicorn. because I want to test to make sure this will work in a production environment. I'm not putting any more effort into getting this to work with NearBeach if it doesn't work in a production environment. And I have to edit this somehow. I told that to fucking stop. God. Alright, auto start. No, hide for the install iOS. Unraid source. USB devices. Yeah, I know, but I don't want to spend that much time getting something to work in Docker. Alright. Unraid source. Oh, it's not letting me edit any of these. Is it still up and running? Fuck off. I've told you to stop my full stop, you donkey. Oh my god. Sorry. When you tell something to stop and it just doesn't stop and you're just like, just stop. Alright, cancel. Edit. So I'm just trying to find out where I've assigned these hard drives. Once again, it's been ages since I've actually... Yeah, in this sort of case, Unraid just didn't want to stop my drives. And I was just... Yeah, it didn't create an image. Alright, that's on Deadpool. Where's my drive? Alright, I'm just going to duplicate this tab so I can scoop between both of them. This is Nginx, this is Gooncorn. Let me just copy it, Jesus. That's not it. That's sorry. Graphics card, virtual. Sorry, I'm just trying to find VM. Disk. I can't see disk. Sorry, socks, but I need my hand. Primary disk location. All right, Deadpool. Thank you. We want. I'm gonna go. Let's say 20 gig. That's perfectly fine. Let's say raw. Disk. Auto. Auto. Virtual VBus. Virtual IO. I've got raw on 20. That should be fine. 20 gigs should be fine. Cool. I'm just going to hit apply. And the Bob I know, how are you? Hopefully you're going well. as I struggle. All right, there it go. I'm going to bring that over there. And we're going to boot this up. I don't know yet for episode 500. I'm hoping to get the Django Vite setup working. We're just testing to see what will happen if we have a production version of this. It does mean that I've got to, you know, sort of set it up. Continue with updating. Done. All right, cool. Done. All right, yeah, done. Let's just go done. Let's just. Let's have to. Let's go done. Let's go done. Let's go done. All right. Let's say NearBeach. 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 And let's just use our usual test password. Skip it for now. Does not install any snaps. Whilst that's running in the background, let's go over here. Now, if memory serves me correctly, there's not too much to install. So I'll just do that. We'll download the code. I'm going to ignore the Postgres stuff. Virtual environment's pretty easy. That's pretty easy. All right. Do this by entering the project directory and using good corn to load the WSGI module. All right, sweet. We'll do that. And then we need to create the system MD stuff, which is going to be copy and paste from here. Not hard. Yep. All right, sweet. American upgraded it. All right, cool. Yep, that's fine. All right. Let's see how it's going. Oh, it's going to take forever, isn't it? Not a problem. We can move on to other stuff. Just thinking what we could move on at the moment. I got other stuff up there. We've got the API stuff that I've got to look at. Yeah. All right. We might as well move on to the API stuff. I can't be bothered finishing the project information page today. I've got a little bit left. If you don't know, if we go into here, I mean, I'm pretty okay with what's going on here. What we're going to do though is we're going to do the linked objects, notes and comments, which I kind of have designed for public links. I don't really have a design I like for that yet. And then sprint planning, which I also don't have a design I like yet. It might be, I might just do cards down here and have the ability to only show the latest 3. Yeah, I'll figure that one out. So that's going to take forever. Shouldn't take too long. But what we can do in the meantime is have a look at the API, and we've got to start planning what we're going to be doing with the API. So if we go into NearBeach, we go into the views, we've got the API view, we've got we've got nothing in here at the moment because I've, of course, deleted it all. Mainly because I just did. No, mainly because a lot of it's going to be very, very generic now. So in the old system, if I actually go to GitHub very, very quickly, we have to work around some old technical debt. So if we go into NearBeach, views, API, so for example, project API, if you have a look into here, once we actually get to it, we've got the list. Oh no, sorry, this is all pretty. Sorry, I'm thinking on the serializers. So with the serializers, we've got all of this where we've got project ID. We'll have task ID for tasks. We've got project name here, but we'll have task short description, requirement title, and all that kind of fun stuff where it isn't consistently named. Now that it is consistently named, what we could potentially do is extract a lot of this into a common sort of serializer class and then build upon that. We'll still need to do some of this. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Oh, sorry. Think off. There are some things which need to be that are model specific. So for example, the statuses themselves are all linked to different sort of status tables. For example, the list of project statuses will be different to the list of task statuses, and that's done purposely because you might have different statuses for a task compared to a project. However, that being said, that's perfectly fine. A lot of this will become a lot smaller now. Like group lists will only be write only. Organizations. Yeah, they'll. Yeah. So I'm just thinking, you've also got project start date, project end date. Though they're now generic, there'll be start date and end date. I can put them in a class. They're no longer required because that is one thing we're not making required anymore. So if we minimize this, we go into here, we go into NearBeach, we go into the models. You'll also notice that the models folder has been reconstructed. If we go into abstraction, we've got common abstractions in here. We've got, this is the basic one with the date created, date modified, change user and so forth like that. Now with project, we're extending that from common info. In here, we've got the, why do I have change user still in here? Oh, list of project statuses. Oh. don't know why I've got those in there. I don't know. So we've got project, got the start date and end date. I haven't actually. You got the ID, title, description, organization, start date, end date, and so forth like that. I think a lot of that can actually be, once again, condensed. Or abstracted out, but then we're getting to the point where we're making abstractions on abstractions. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud at the moment. Priority, that's a project and a task thing. Not, don't remember if it's a requirement thing or a requirement item thing. I would have to look that up. Story point, that's, yeah, project and task thing as well as requirement item thing. Oh, fair enough. It's quite powerful. It's a very powerful tool. So, one thing which I could potentially do is ID, title, and description. That can be put in something very common info. That can be, yeah, definitely put in common info. That's pretty much used nearly everywhere, except it'll be common object info. Yeah, we've got the document. So it's been a number of weeks since I've actually had a look at this, so I'm trying to remember everything. We've got document where what we've also done is we've kind of split up the models into a proper sort of structured system. We've got abstractions. We've got object assignment. Object assignment is. Now, one of our linters has come along and been like, oh, this is duplicate code. Oh, this is duplicate code. Oh, this is duplicate code and stuff like that. And I'm kind of like, yeah, it is. But at the same time, it's a field that has the same properties as somewhere else. Sure, we should do something about that. Yeah, a bit unsure. Anyway, how's everyone going? We're on ads now. I'm going to find out where we are. Oh, we're on the reboot. So we're just rebooting my VM. Failed to unmount CD-ROM. Yeah, that's fine. Reboot. You should boot into my server. About 50 seconds left of the ads. Don't worry, you're not missing out on much. All right, cool. Okay. Yeah. All right, 20 seconds left of the ads. I am just, oops. I am just, oh, no, that's where I went. I'm just updating my server. All right, and welcome back everyone. So during the ad break, my server got installed. We're just upgrading it at the moment. Then we'll install what we need on it. Shouldn't, famous last words, take too long. All right, so going back into here, we've made the models as, we split them up and so forth like that. We kind of want to do, we want to fix up the serialization. So a lot of the serialization will be very generic now, so we can probably get away with using a lot less serializers, which is going to make everyone's life a lot easier. Or even just simplified serializers. So yeah, I don't know if I've got any serializer. I think I went through the vast majority of NearBeach and deleted a lot of... Yeah, I did, didn't I? All right, cool. So one of the serializers I want to start off with is the Python one now, or project one. Sorry, project serializer. I don't need to type in all of that in. And I do believe I'm keeping that out there. Yeah, that sort of level. Now with this one, I'm just gonna go into the raw. We're just gonna copy it. We're just gonna paste it in. It's not gonna work. All of this is gonna be broken, and we're gonna go through it, and we're gonna go, all right, cool, we can move this into a common abstraction. Now I'm gonna create an abstraction folder. In here, we're just gonna have the init. Like so, that's just to tell Python, hey, this is a Python folder. We're also gonna check on this. Yeah, it's about 33%, easy done. So we're gonna go up to the top. So we're using the red that. Now the NearBeach models, this is all different now. Because we could be not using, oops, all of that. All right. The group list, I don't see us using that anymore. And the reason being, actually, no, we are going to be using that. Sorry, when you create a new project, you'll be sending through the group. And it'll only be used in the right setting. All right, cool. I can see this being common though. The only time where we won't want to use it is something like requirement item. So, for example, requirement items will use the parent object. Yeah, the parent object's groups for permissions and so forth like that. Organizations, I don't see that happening anymore because you'll be able to create a project or task or anything like that not connected up to an organization. That is getting rid of that. The description, that's no longer, that's getting changed. So is that getting changed, but description will be common enough. So in the abstraction, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go I'm going to call it base serializer at the moment. And then what we're going to call it is base serializer, base object serializer, I should say. I'm going to rename this. Ah, I did it silly. All right, I hit escape. There it goes. So we've got base object serializer. Give me a second. Sorry, models. I'm going to open up project 2. Just going to put that over there so I can reference any other fields and stuff like that. How's this going? 91%. Class containing serializer base for all objects. Base for all, yeah, not all objects, that's a lie. All right, so straight off the bat, I'm just going to put project serializers on the right too. We've got grip list. That's going to be a serializer. That's going to be a primary related field. Many equals true because it will be query set equals all of that information. Oops. Let me redo that. Query set equals all of that. Yes, we want to add in that. We want to actually not do all. We want to filter out everything but what we need. So is deleted is going to be false. We don't want anything that is deleted. Required equals true. And write only equals true. So we only need this in certain cases. Yeah, this is only when we're creating though. And this is what this is what we're planning out at the moment with the API. So if I were to go to the mockup, we've got groups and stuff in here. That's how we're sending it to the backend. It's just here that we've got groups. So I feel like this is not needed in the base anymore. This is ORM. That's fair enough. It does take a little getting used to. At the moment, I'm building up serializers. So that changes the ORM data into JSON data for the API. Cool. This is done. What I'm going to do is I am going to copy this one line. I'm just going to have to do, I have to do this, where we have this, and then we paste this in, and then we go down here and we go like, all right, sudo apt install python 3 then python 3 div. Actually no, we're not going to install the database sort of stuff. Nginx curl. All right, cool. So what I want to do, so I want to do something different. Because I reckon this is, I can see this being read-only. Oh wow, that actually got way past the Autobot. Alright, cool. Where's my... Alright. I don't know if we'll be using group lists when we pull stuff out. So I'm just having a think here. Give me 2 seconds. That took a little while. So this is the API currently at the moment. It's not sending any group information to the front end. However, that being said, we've done that purposely for a particular reason. However, with API version 1, we might want to do that. Cause, where's our mock-up? Because with the mock-up, we've got all this information here, we've got all the properties and stuff like that. The API, you kind of want all of this information. You might get away with not loading in project documentation and those items down there. They could load after the fact. You've got the stakeholders, which could load after, which actually no, you want the stakeholders to load in at the same time. Sprint planning, which could load in after the fact. Now this actually took a little while to load in. I'm not happy about that. Oh. It's still got all the, alright, no, don't worry. It's still got a lot of the archived stuff in there. Yeah, that's archived. That's... Card ID, all of that stuff, yeah. Alright. I wonder how much data that is. Jesus. There's half a megabyte of data there. Alright. I didn't realize how big that was. I might need to find a way of not having that so big. Might be the sort of case where I remove some of this information. Card priority, that'll be needed. The column and level, that's needed. Sort numbers needed. Tags is needed. Oh, that's the problem. It's mainly the description is the only one I can get rid of. But yeah, I didn't realize how big that was. Alright, oh, sorry. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to jump onto a task or a project that I can share. I created this a long time ago and did nothing with it. So task information 13. Alright, that's a lot smaller. So yeah, it's not 5 megabytes of data, it's crunching, which is good to know. I know that is one giant Kanban board. I might need to actually have a look at shrinking that. And then figuring out a way of make it more efficient. Alright, so in here we've got a bunch of stuff. Where was I going with what I was ranting about? I don't know anymore. We've got the group list, that's what I was thinking. So we don't actually have any of the group lists in here. Now, originally we dealt with the permissions and so forth in the back end. Sorry, I'm just now thinking, how do I want... I've got a problem. I either load in the core basic information, this and this, and then all of this other information is loaded in separately, which, well, can be done. but it means everything's going to be popping in, which is really, really annoying. Which I don't like. However, that being said, we can have a case where something's a half a megabyte, like that Kanban board, and then we're waiting for no, not that I know of. And then we're waiting for all of that data. And a part of me is landing on a just load. You can get the project details. You can potentially get the stakeholder. If I go over here, we've got the organization in here. Like so. And then we could load everything else after the fact. Now, before I was redesigning this, the idea was some of this will be hidden on other tabs or something like that, and I've absolutely hated the tab idea. Hence we just got it all on one page, and the idea was when you clicked onto that tab, it'll actually load in that data then and there. So that way you get the initial payload and then you navigate to the other bits of data. However, that has changed. The other thing I could potentially do is just load these 3 panels, because they're the critical information, and then from there all of this will just load after the fact. Because yeah, I can't load all the notes, but I can paginate the notes. And that's better with the API. Project documentation. Are you jumping, sweetie? No, 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 no. There we go. You having a sore paw or something? Oh. Project documentation, we want everything that's on that particular folder, and then when we can make it so that it hits the API every single time you navigate the folders and so forth like that. We can even add it so this is then refreshes this. You just click on this and a little thing spin and be like no changes or something like that. So after all of that, I'm getting rid of that. Actually, no, I know, I'm keeping in it because it's part of this here. So I'll load in this information, and then the user access will load in after the fact. Or we just have that like going on. So I don't want it taking too long for the person to get to this page. That's also the other thing. I want this page to just load up, and all of these are accessories. The main core information is the title and the description. Then this is secondary, and then the access is third. All of this other stuff is even lower. And that's why these are up at the top. However, I can say, if we've got the properties and we've got this, that should be fine. Because then group access can load in after the fact. Then stakeholders, then public links, then sprint planning, and so forth like that. The linked objects won't take much at all. Alright, I think I like that. I think we're only going to load in the details and the properties. Alright, container. So So get rid of those. And that's fine. That's fine. We've got to talk this through. We've got to figure out how we're going to actually do this API version, so that it feels as fast for the user. Then from here, and if I go back into here, yeah, we've got the IT short long organization, which will still happen. I'm still happy for that to happen because that's on the table itself. That's it's connected on the table. Then we've got the status. All right, yep. Which we still want. Higher order status, yep. Task priority, yep. Story points, yep. And then we've got the start date, end date, and date created, date modified. So yeah, we're happy with all of that. So what I want to do is I want to go I want to check one thing. All right, give me 2 seconds. Test up NearBeach. Oh, no, demo. So the Kanban board will be different when you're creating a new Kanban. Organization will be different. Customer will be different. Project will be the same. Requirement item will be the same, task will be the same, and that will be different. All right, so we've got 3. Sorry, I'm just having a think. If I'm going to create a new serializer for creating stuff. Oh, it's only going to be for new. All right, no, that's fine. We've got special cases where we can override a lot of this. All right. In fact, required equals false. Easy done. So this group list is only going to be write only. It's not required. We're going to do it a little override in a little bit. So yeah. When someone goes to create a new, let's say, project or a task, or a requirement item, they'll need to pass through the group list. Now, originally, what we could potentially do is, if we scroll down to here, so we've got update. Where we set certain priority statuses. And we make sure certain things up here have a change of value and so forth like that, which, hey, it works. So we've got the get fields. Here it is, get fields. So if the request is post, project status is none, project priority is none. So we pop those out. Organization, we made sure that the organizations are not deleted and so forth like that. We'll be doing probably something similar here. But first, let's see how this has gone. All right, cool. Oh, I can't be bothered with this one tonight. Sorry, guys. I'm not going to be testing that tonight. It'll drive me nuts. So we've got the group list, otherwise we've got that. All right. Now, we'll always need a title. And I'm just double checking what the title is. That's project name. All right, cool. That will be a char field. That will have max length of 255 and required will always be true. Easy done. Now, other things that I need in here. I'm probably going to sneeze in a minute. Oh, that's big. That sucks. We've got description, which is required. Won't be a character field. What have we put description as again? Oh no, we have put it as a car field. Easy done. Required equals, and in this sort of case, we're going to go false because from now on, it's just going to be false. We're going to be happy with a blank in there. We're going to be like, all right, cool, that is blank, that's fine. Cool. All right, so that's really the minimum for creating a new project. What other fields are generic? So the problem is end date and start date. They're not on every single object. So what I mean by that is, yes, socks. Requirement items don't have them, requirements don't have them, projects do, tasks do, Kanban boards don't, Kanban cards do not do? Oh god, I forgot. Hold on. No, they don't. All right, cool. So not everything has start date, end date. So I'm going to leave those out for the moment. And we can add in another abstraction base object with dates and so forth like that. So yeah, anyway, we've reached add time. Well, hopefully everyone's going well tonight. So yeah, just trying to think. I probably won't be streaming for much longer. I'm getting very, very tired. So yeah, we've got a couple of people we can rate. All right. How with the ads? We've got about 45 seconds left. Yeah, this. I just got to think how I want to structure all of this. So we've got group list, we've got description, we've got title. Priorities will be different. So will the statuses. UID. Ooh, that's actually a good sort of question. We no longer need that functionality. Okay. That's actually gonna make life easier for us. All right, welcome back everyone. So I just realized that we no longer need the UIDs when creating an object because there won't be any fields where we can upload images. So there was a long time ago bug in NearBeach where if you uploaded an image whilst creating a, let's say a project or a title or something like that, it would fail. And the reason being is it would upload the image, but it had no object to associate it to. So instead we would feed it a UUID. And when we created the project or task, we would feed the backend that same UUID. The idea being is that it would then go, oh, okay, cool, you've got this UUID. Are there any images or documentation with this UUID? I will assign this to this currently created project or task, whatever. We're no longer doing that because we just got the title, the group permissions, it's all text. So, yay, we're getting rid of one field. As for the start date and end date, because really that's only for task and project. That's, yeah, that's something we can extract out. So from REST framework, we want to import serialization. We're going to go class date serializer, or we should date field serializer. Now I'll rename this. And then what we want in here is end date equals serializers date field required equals false. We no longer require it. And then we'll have start date equals serialized date field required equals false. We should also have up here now, what's our terminology? That's class containing serializer fields for dates. He's done. And then all we need to do is when we construct the project serializer, we just put them in. That's not going to be too hard. So we've got the base for this. I'm now going to go back down to project serializer. We're going to pretty much destroy all of this now. We're going to remove that, and we're going to go from NearBeach serializers dot abstraction dot base object. We're also going to from NearBeach dot serializers dot abstraction dot, can't spell, can I? Dot date field serializers, import the date field serializer, and then what we want to do is we want to have in here base object serializers and then date field serializers. So we're going to get those two in here. Easy done. We're happy with that. Our next step for this is to go and undo all of that because I did it in the wrong freaking file. All right. Sorry, I thought I opened up this file. There you go. This is going to be called Project Serializer. So we're importing those two. Now, I'm just going through the models itself on the right. You guys can't see it, that's fine. We've got the ID. We do want the ID. That would be generic. Now I'm going to put this in alphabetical order also. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. I'm going to say integer. This would be a big integer field. And Oob Stream Hub World, welcome. I hope you are going good. I am trying to remember a few things. So project serializer, we've got the project ID somewhere in here. It is an integer. All right, cool. Read only equals true. We only need it when it's read only. So that's the base sort of one. So all of our objects will be using it. So we're now in here. We've got the project serializer. So ID, title, description are handled. Organization. Because that's at the table level, we can put it in. I'm going to say yes. And if we go back into here, we should have organization in here. Yeah, organization 0. There we go. And it's going to be like that. And it's going to be part of the organization serializer. Now, we don't have the organization serializer at the moment, and this is only going to be read only. Maybe, depends how I handle updating these particular fields, whether I have an endpoint for certain cases, which I probably might end up doing. Yeah, all right. Okay. All right, get back into this. So we've got organizations, we've got many. I'll need to create that organization serializer. We'll do that in a little while. Start date and end date are handled with this date fields serializer. All right, we're happy with that. The statuses themselves will need to actually be ported through because status equals, this will be serializers dot foreign key. Oh, how are we doing it? It will be the same code as in here. So project status, project priority, we'll just copy those. We'll just go bang in here like this. We won't need the start date, but it looks like we... Object priority, oh, okay. We just need to do that for the moment. Now another thing which I should copy over is I should copy over all of this. And we'll go through it, we'll fix it all up, and so forth like that in a minute. So project priority, project status, yeah. Priority would be the object priority, which we'll need to re-implement. That's not going to be a problem. So the object priority itself is part of the enum. So I'm just going to do that. The enum field itself needs to be imported. Create class enum. No. I no longer need groups. Oh, piss. I don't even know where I'm going over here. Alright, give me a couple of seconds. I'm having a relook at this. So the models importing, we're no longer needing to import a lot of those models. Serializers in enum. Oh. Alright, so under serializers, we got enum serializer. Alright. Let's re-implement this. Now, will that be more of a utility? No, it's a serializer. All right, no, it's this will be enum serializer. Easy done. I'm happy with that. And then in the project serializer, what we want to do is we want to go from NearBeach serializers dot enum serializer, import the enum field. There we go. We're happy with that. The project serializer, that it's just down here. We're going to keep this one too. They're very, very simple. Project status serializer. Just keyed in like this. So, in this sort of case, it's going to be that. Now, I have a feeling we might be able to make this something generic where we can pass it through. Maybe, because if I could do that, then I just need a status serializer, change that into a utility. Yeah, like, so I'm just thinking out aloud. All right, so we've got all of that. We've got the project serializer, many equals false, allowed read only equals false, allow none. Oh, sorry. Whoa. All right, validate data, group list. So I need to do the organization serializer too. I'm just going to import the organization serializer. I think that one isn't changing so much too. Once again, we're going to review the code as we go through it. So we'll need the customer serializers also. Easy done. I'm just re-importing them. Easy done. I need the customer titles. Sorry, it's literally you find one thing, you find the other, you find the other. You just keep going down the chain until you get to the bottom, and then you're like, all right, cool. Now I can make it back up to the top. But as you're making it back up to the top, you got to clean everything. Alright, so straight off the bat, this one will be clean. It's just going to be ID and title because we've simplified things, we've made everything generic. So that's what needs to be passed through. class containing serializer for customer title. He's done. So we're happy with this one. We're going to cross it off. We're going to go over to this one. So straight away, we need to do something like that to clean that up. We're just going to go bang in here, class containing serializer for customer. We're all happy with that. Off the bat, it just becomes ID, title, first name, last name, email, and profile picture page. Getting rid of the customer out of that. That should be almost fine. We just needed to make changes to that. So the get fields, if the request is not return fields. All right, cool. That's easy done. If it's supposed to put we're popping out the profile picture because we don't need the profile picture. The profile picture is done in a particular way. The customer title, serialized, primary located field, list titles, da, da, da. All right, cool. That's actually just going to be title now. We're going to review this when we actually do test the API and stuff like that. So update. Yep, we handled the update on the serializer, so that is going to be validated pop customer title. Oh yeah, let's put in the title into the title ID. That's fine. And yeah, we're getting rid of all that. So it looks like that now. All right, let's go into the serializers. The organization serializer, once again, we've got customers. We'll have ID. Okay, cool. And I'll need to, that's what I should also do down here. ID, status, all right, give me 2 seconds. Customer serializer, customer title serializer. ID title, yep, that's in alphabetical. Oh, actually, those are in order that I want. It's the fields up here that I want in alphabetical order. First name will go up here, last name, title. Easy done. All right, cool. All right. Go, just do that. We've got customers. Yeah, we've got ID. We've got name. We've got website. We've got email, which will belong here. All right, email is true. Yep. Yeah, we still want the email being true. Still want the ID. Still want the name and website. Yep. This is no longer like that. Yep, all right, cool. expect to type int got string instead. Yeah, cool. I will deal with that later. Sorry, I'm getting really tired. I'm probably just gonna raid on in a minute. And then I just need to all right, cool. Then we go up to project, and now we can import this. Yay! Once again, I need to double check everything that goes through all of that. I'll be rewriting a lot of the unit tests, just because I wanted to structure them out a little bit differently this time through. Yeah, there's other stuff in here which I haven't done, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to call it here. I'm exhausted, so yeah, sorry about this. All right, let's find someone to raid. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna raid them. All right. I don't know who the. All right, cool. We're gonna raid this people. This person. All right. Alright, thank you very much everyone for coming tonight. It has been okay. I'm just tired. So yeah. We've still got a lot to figure out. We've still got to really think about it because I don't want to reintroduce any more technical debt. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, I do hope you enjoy this raid. I've never seen Spammy Games live. I've fallen through with a raid with them, so let's find out who they are. And thank you very much for being here. And for those on YouTube, thank you very much for being here. Sadly, you won't be able to follow us with the raid, but don't forget to like and subscribe. It does actually help the channel, so thank you very much.